Hey, thanks for checking out my video. This is going to be a quick Diablo 4 kind of review, rundown, just kind of some of my thoughts about the game, what I like about it, what I really don't like about it. So yeah, I'm just going to go right into it. Here's some things I do like. The graphics are top tier. They're extremely good. The game runs very smooth. The combat is responsive. The combat feels good. Animations are good. Mobs dying like feels good, looks good. Although there is a lot of like on death explosion crap that PoE has also that I don't like. But it's server performance has been good. I have crashed a few times. Like 2 or 3 days ago, I crashed like 15 times in one day. But overall, server performance has been pretty good for me. So yeah, all this stuff is good. The game, looks great, plays pretty good, and that's about the extent of my positive criticism, unfortunately. The scaling, okay, the scaling is one of the things I don't like about Diablo the most. The entire game feels exactly the same. If you find a bear at level 5, it'll take you 3 chain lightnings to kill it, for example. If you go back to that same bear at level 50, it's still going to take you 3 chain lightnings to kill it. So it makes your character progression feel completely pointless and meaningless. So the entire game, everything you do, it just feels the same. You should be able to go at level 50 and go back to the starting zone and just completely obliterate everything on the screen instantly, but that doesn't happen. So I get that this is like intended to make group play better because a level 50 character can play with a level 15 friend or whatever, but I don't like it. I think it just has made the entire experience feel just completely the same from start to finish. The open world is nice, but the MMO sort of part of it, the group play part of it, I'm not really liking because it's not intuitive and it's not simple to find other players to group up with to do stuff. Like in Diablo 3, you could just join a public game if you wanted to do public bounties. But in this game, there's really no system to do that. So if you want to do Tree of Whisper bounties and you want to find a group for that, how are you supposed to do that? There's no like in-game intuitive system for that. And I've also been extremely surprised how few players that I'm running into when I'm playing. I'll be in like a Tree of Whispers area, and I'll just see no one. I might play for an hour and like not see any other players anywhere. And I know this is the first week of the game. There's hundreds of thousands of people playing the game, but I'm not seeing anyone. Where are they? I don't know if there's like just insane like sharding going on with different realms or what's going on there, but yeah, I'm not finding enough people. Don't really like that aspect of the game. The campaign, I thought the story was boring. I didn't like it at all. I tried to pay attention to it, and I watched all the cutscenes, and I played through the campaign like pretty slowly. Uh, Lilith's motivations were entirely unclear. She's just like this like generic bad guy, but you don't really know why she's a bad guy. And then like later on, they start dropping these hints about well maybe she's actually Lilith's a good guy angle, and then Inarius is a good guy, or is he? Is Mephisto good? Inarius turns out to be like a complete bitch. Lilith wants the primevals like out of sanctuary, but she just like murders people, and instead of saying like hey let's work together and like stop Mephisto because Mephisto's actually the bad guy. And then Mephisto just like plays the player character like a fiddle, and you end up doing exactly what he wants, which is to break him out of hell. But then we let this random girl take the Soul Stone and like whatever, just she's fine. We'll let her decide what happens with it. I mean I don't know. I didn't like it at all. Okay, some things about the systems. The skill tree I think is so boring. It's just the Diablo 3 skills just put into a tree form. So if you take the Diablo 3 skills, they had 5 runes on every skill. But these skills only have like 2 runes to choose from. So there's like very little variation with the skills. And then same with the passives. Like you chose 4 passes in Diablo 3, and all the passives are just like scattered throughout the tree instead. So it's the same. It's so boring. I don't find this like it's not innovative. It's not interesting. It's so cookie cutter and boring. And then same thing with the Paragon boards. I feel like they just took all this stuff that was you got this for free from Paragons in Diablo 3 and they just scattered it around this huge board and they're calling it a Paragon board instead of just you just get this Paragon shit from Diablo 3. And this I mean the system like looks complicated on the surface and it looks like new and different, but it's really the same shit, just like presented in a different format. I find it so boring. And then the renown system is just a complete ripoff from Lost Ark's Adventurer's Tome, or maybe even other games. I don't even know if Lost Ark was the first game that did this, but this is just like almost a just straight up rip from this other system. And plus the statue farming is like the stupidest shit ever. Like there's character power tied to this, so you have to do this. This isn't like optional. So you're never gonna just find these altars like naturally or organically. So you're gonna have to look up where they all are, and then go find all like 150 of them, however many there are, and it just turns into a tedious chore that's not fun. The rest of the renowned progress stuff, like dungeons, side quests, strongholds, that stuff's not too bad. But the altars are horrible, and like if you have to repeat like all this stuff every season, that might get boring like real quick. But I don't know. As long as you don't have to do the altars, it might not be too bad. But overall, I think this system's very boring. Also, okay, here's a bunch of stupid stuff about the game. I'm gonna go through all this stuff kind of one at a time. Why can I only track one quest? Why can't I track three quests at the same time that are in the same area? Like I have to complete a quest and then track a different one. This just seems like you could do this in games 20 years ago. Why can we not do it now? This seems so dumb. There's no searches anywhere. This is a console game, just ported to PC. It's just so this is one of many examples of that. So like on the map, for example, like how do I find where this dungeon is? Like if my friend says, "Hey, Stockades is a good dungeon," I'm not saying it is. I'm just, for example, Stockades is a good dungeon. So if like, oh, I want to run some Stockades, how do I find where this dungeon is? I have to open the map. There's no search bar to like type in Stockades. Where is this dungeon? There's 130 fucking dungeons in this game. I have to like mouse over every single one of these fucking dots until I find the one that says, "Oh, this one's Stockades right here." Like this is ridiculous. Why can I not search for this stuff on this massive map? They made this huge open world, but they didn't give you a way to find stuff on it. Like it's awful. The same thing with the stash. Like the stash is small. Uh, it's gonna fill up really quick. It's gonna force you to like delete shit and like choose what to prioritize, what to keep and what not to keep. Which, I mean, that's not that awful of a thing, but like why? And then why can't I search the stash? Like this thing right here where this skullbow shit is, why is there not a search bar here? Like if I wanted to look for like all my like chain lightning items or all my whirlwind items or whatever, why can I not type that in and look for all my legendaries and uniques that have those mods? This is I cannot believe this is not in the game. Diablo 3 had this. Why are we getting less features in Diablo 4 than Diablo 3 had? There's a search bar in Diablo 3. Plus, there was more slots in the Diablo 3 stash, especially after some seasons, and you unlocked even more. But I think even in the base game, there was even more slots than in D4. The towns, they are super spread apart for no reason. So when you teleport to town, if you want to salvage items, you got to run like in this one, you got to run all the way here. Then if you want to go to stash, you got to run all the fucking way back up here, go up this little stairs into this tiny little room. And then like if you want to gamble, you have to run all the way down here to the freaking Obel guy way down here. And then your occultist is like way over here. And like it's the same thing in all the major cities. Like gamble down here, enchant or salvage up here, and then stash way up here in this house. The same thing here. Gamble like way up over here. Stash way up here, and then opposite direction to salvage way down here, down these stairs and stuff. Why is there not a straight path right here? This town, same thing. Way down here, way up here. This one, same thing. Stash is way over here, and then salvage is the opposite direction, way down here. And then like the gamble one is even worse on this one, way down here, up here, and then this town. Diablo 3, everything was in a tiny little circle. You could just dash from the Rift portal right to the stash, and you could gamble your shards, salvage your items, and then right back into a dungeon. Like it was so fast. This is a time wasting step that should not be part of the game. You should not have to waste time running back to my portal, back to my portal, back to my portal. Like it's so much time wasted here that should just be like bam, 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 back to the gameplay. It's a downgrade from Diablo 3. This town design. I think the town design is just awful. There's no trading that matters in this game. You can trade for like gems and potions and rares, I guess. But how do you find items? How do you trade with people? There's no auction house. There's no API. There's no in-game trade functionality of whatsoever. The trading might as well not even be in the game, which I think is crazy. Especially since they made it so like MMO-like, where every player is standing right next to you. Same thing with crafting. I mean, what can I say? There's you can't craft shit. You find your items, then you upgrade them. You re-roll one affix, just like in Diablo 3. You put sockets on them, and then you imprint an affix on it, maybe. And that's it. The crafting, it might as well not even be in the game. There's no bosses in the game either. What bosses are there to fight? Uber Lilith, which most players aren't even going to be able to get there to that point before they quit. Is there even a reason to do Uber Lilith? I mean, what content is there to do to test your character to go and fight in this game? I cannot believe there's not 5 bosses to fight at least. I mean, the world bosses, I guess. I don't even really count those though, because they're on a timer. You can't farm them. The UI is awful. I cannot stand the UI in this game. Like, if you want to open up your Paragon board, it opens up like a half menu, and then you have to expand it. You have to press 2 buttons to open up your Paragon board. And then from the main menu, character select, you can't even open the social menu. You have to actually enter the game first before you can open the social menu. So if you have a friend that you play with, and you have 5 characters a month from now, and you want to, you have to talk to them in the BattleNet app instead of in the game before you enter the game. So like if you're like, oh, I'm gonna play my Sork, or I'm gonna play my Barb, or I'm gonna play my Necromancer, like what should I play, or how do we want to set up our group? You have to enter the game first before you can find friends on the social menu, which is ridiculous. The UI is just bad. Itemization is boring. Damage versus 20 things. Damage versus stun versus frozen versus chilled versus distant versus close. It's boring. I don't like it at all. Build power is too dependent on like legendary and unique affixes, just like D3 set bonuses were, except there's no sets. Um, this point here is kind of a broader one about what needs to change. You get the same loot from everything. You do bounties, you get a generic sack of items. You do dungeons, you get items. You do hell tides, you get items. It's all just generic loot. You need to have more different reasons to do these different things, other than just you get the same rewards from all of them. So here's how I think it can get a little better. Like I was just saying, there needs to be different reasons to do different content that progress your character. Right now, you just get generic loot from everything. There's no specific reason to do specific content. So, like for example, in PoE, if you want timeless jewels, you have to do legions. If you want cluster jewels, you have to do delirium. If you want essences, you need to run essences, etc. Uh, there needs to be like different reasons that force you to do different things in the game to make it interesting instead of just turning into greater rifts, greater rifts, greater rifts like Diablo 3 did. Uh, they also need to put in more cool stuff like Ingeome. Like Ingeome was my favorite item in Diablo 3 because it made you build fast. You could just dash forever or teleport forever. And then this game needs more stuff like this that's makes it fun, more fun. Overall, I think the game is just super meh, especially for $70 or more even. Uh, in my opinion, it's like a 5 out of 10. It's average. It's nothing special. I will continue to play it. I'm going to put in the hours to min-max it. I'm finding the experience just really mediocre, almost boring at times. I do have more to do. I will play. I will min-max. But like I thought I'd be like losing sleep thinking about playing this game. And, like I was so excited before it came out. But now I'm like almost having to force myself to play it because I'm not having the fun that I was hoping I would have. Hopefully season 1 will add more interesting stuff and future seasons too. We'll see. But PoE 2, whoo, PoE 2 looking real good. If you haven't seen those new teasers that they launched, if you haven't played Path of Exile before and you found this video somehow, I highly recommend you try out Path of Exile, which is free by the way. I'm not really motivated at all to make Diablo content, so I'll probably just wait for ExileCon for PoE 2 stuff. Might make some more content then, and probably next PoE League I will make more stuff. But yeah, you're probably not going to see a whole lot from this channel in the meantime. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching this video. What do you like about Diablo 4? Tell me if I'm wrong about all this stuff. Do you think it's a 5 out of 10? Is it a 10 out of 10? Is it your favorite game ever? Did you quit already? Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.